Hey guys, Kyle here with Cultured Redneck Garage. I'm coming to you tonight kind of late, and so I'm not going to spend much time here, but I did want to give you a little video update. It's been a couple days since I've posted anything, and where I left off last was we had just tackled in episode 5 the finishing touches on our inner fender patch, and so I am still a little bit on a high there. And glad that's done with, but you know what? It's time to move on with the rest of the project because we got a long ways to go and a short time to get there, as Snowman would say and Smokey the Bandit. So anyways, of course, what I'm talking about there is the fast coming No Name Nationals on October 1st in Saxon, Missouri. So our goal is, of course, to take the Plymouth there. Really in whatever condition that it is at the time. We're going to make sure it's mobile, but our goal is to have, of course, the car, the exterior body in paint, and hopefully the decals put back on. And I think we can do that, especially if we hold our feet to the fire and keep going, and especially if you guys keep me motivated, keep me going, and I appreciate you. A lot of you guys have done that already. And so, which reminds me, if you happen to be watching this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. I promise you that you know, as time goes on, and we just had this channel for a couple of weeks now, and I've already put out, you know, quite a few things, and so there's only going to be more. So, anyways, with that being said, so tonight I've been out here and been sort of taking in the project as a whole. I think sometimes I spend 25% of my time doing the actual work and maybe 75% of the time dreaming about it, taking it in, just looking. Sometimes the guy has to stand and look at his work, and you know, not to you know, uplift himself, but to gain vision and see where you've been and sort of see where you need to go, and that's where ideas are formed. So anyways, I don't want to get to talking about that and getting all philosophical tonight, but so I've been taking that in and looking at what we need to go to. So it's a very obvious thing what we want to do here next. I think, you know, after we finish this little inner fender patch, that should do it for any other metal fabrication welding on this side of the car. But what we got to do is, we've got, as most cars of this era have, we've got some rust that needs to be treated and dealt with, and also undercoating. So that is the next step. We want to get rid of whatever undercoating we need to get this rust kind of worn down to a point where we can treat it and it will encapsulate. I'll tell you what I do. Once again, I'm not being paid by this company. I don't even know that I'll go back with it, but here's what I've been using on this sort of thing. I've been using Eastwood's Rust Encapsulator. It's about the best you can do, in my opinion, unless you sandblast it or acid dip the car. And my compressor, while it's a good compressor, I think is only, you know, maybe 6 CFM, which is good for most anything I need to do out here, but it just, sandblasting is a little much for it. Man, if I had a 10 CFM compressor, we'd be out here with a big old sand pot, and we'd be going to town and getting this done the right way. But anyways, this will work, and it'll preserve it for a good time. So anyways, let's look a little bit closer at it. Maybe some of the, oh, I almost forgot. So in doing my research over the years, I have found some things dealing with the whole undercoating issue, the removal I'm talking about. The question has always been, do you use a spatula, and not spatula, a scraper, and heat, or something else? Well, I've been wanting to try out a tool, and it wasn't expensive, and I thought it was worth the gamble because I know it'll come in handy at some point. So let's take a look at that tool. Alright, well, the tool in question that I speak of is a needle scaler. Now, I wasn't about to go out and spend a ton of money on an air tool that may or may not work. So I happened to go to Harbor Freight, and I've seen guys on YouTube and talk about where they've used a needle scaler. And of course what it does is, you know, those of you that don't know, these little needles vibrate up and down and sort of scrape away at any sort of scale that you might have on your substrate, your metal. So anyways, I thought I would do a quick little demonstration. I've actually already tried it out on one little area just to see how it would do before I made this video. So I'm gonna let you be the judge of what you think. I can see times where this will come in real handy and work, I mean, like a charm, exactly like you need it to. And there's gonna be times where maybe the undercoating is a little more soft and pliable, and it might not work as well. So I'm gonna let you see that in action real quick, but I can't do it very long because the kids are in bed and I don't want to wake them up. So let's take a look at it. Alright, well, this little area right here would probably be a perfect example where I think this thing might come in handy. It's difficult to get something up in there, and you know, some of that, it's obvious that there's rust behind that, or just a little bit behind. Well, right here there's a lot of rust behind it, but here isn't too bad. So let's just see what that will do. I'm going to zoom on up on it and maybe you can see what I'm doing here. Oh. Alright, let's try that out. See what you can see here. Alright. Let's try her out. Alright, that did pretty good. I think that is the perfect example of where this might be a successful tool. You know, now there might be some other places on here where this this stuff is not quite the right thing to do. But anyway, that is your demonstration of the needle scaler tool. And so, you know, it might be the right thing for you to use. I think I only spent 30 bucks on it, so it wasn't like it was going to send me to the poorhouse if it or really took away from the budget. So I think it was a good gamble. I think it worked. It'll also work on rusty areas. Now, I would almost prefer using the wire wheel here. We'll do it real quick. I can't do it long because I'm gonna wake somebody up, I guarantee you. Let's try it out. Well, there you go. That did okay, but I think a wire wheel would be better there. So anyways, there's that area. Now let's, one thing we're going to have to do, we're going to have to sort of do this whole area in concert with the rocker panel area. Let's look at that. Alright, well, as we sort of work the rust out and treat that with the encapsulator that we're wanting to do, or pour 15, whichever one we go to, we have to deal with this. And would you believe that the driver's side was worse than this? Luckily, not luckily, but I'm glad that I have already fixed all of this on the other side. Now granted, I've still got to deal with all of that that rust situation and encapsulate it on the other side, but all of this down here I have done. I made an entire patch. Actually, I think it was maybe my second patch I ever attempted, and it worked out okay. But we kind of have to do this in concert with the door and the rocker, because how we connect to the rocker it'll make a difference. Now let's look at my rocker. Overall, this rocker is not that horrible. My driver's side one was, but there is some bad metal in there. The worst being this guy right here. So, you know, originally I was sort of thinking and hoping that maybe we'll get by with some patchwork, just, you know, small things, because I'm all for not taking any good metal away from you know, good original metal. It's just a lot less work, and the old metal is fine. However, I don't know. I had to replace the rocker on the other side completely, and I don't know what we're going to do here. I think I'm just going to dig into it and see. I do have another rocker that I bought years ago whenever I started to do this project. It was relatively inexpensive. It's a decent rocker just for the metal, and it's got the folds in it, but rarely do I ever, it's not an exact replacement. If it's close, so you just, it's kind of one of those panels you have to work with and make it work. So what I'd probably end up doing is cutting that and then cutting this rocker and welding it in place if I do, but we'll see. Like I said, I don't want to wake up 15 years from now and all of a sudden we got rust bubbles coming up. So we will do what we have to try to avoid that, and because I know that one of these days down the road my son will have it, and if we can keep him from having rust issues in the future, that'd be fantastic too. So anyways, that are the major things we're going to do. I think if we stay at it, we can get this whole area and the other side needle scaled, sort of wire wheeled and treated relative in a, you know, fairly decent amount of time. One thing too that probably needs to take place before the No Name Nationals, and I am open to suggestions here. You know, I've noticed there's a small leak in my radiator. It'll leak down over time, and where it's doing that is right here up on the ridge. I see it moist from time to time. Now I love original radiators because everything is there. It probably cools much more efficiently, you know, because plenty of factory engineers made it that way. But, you know, I would like to fix that before I make the trip to Sykeston, which isn't too far for me, to be quite honest with you, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. But who wants to blow up their engine, right? Or head gasket. So anyways, what would you guys do in that situation? Would you take it to somebody and have it patched or whatever, or would you just buy you one off of eBay? It seems like it's maybe inefficient these days to basically have one rebuilt. I hate to say that, but I don't know. Would you try a stop leak, or is that a no-no? I know a lot of people have had success with that, but I can see reasons why you might not want to because of the whole heater core situation. You can clog that up. We don't want to do that for sure. I don't want to climb in that dash and fix that. So anyway, open suggestions there. Well, so yeah, we've got plenty to do, but I think getting that done right there will get us to a point, and when we do the door and the rocker panel, that will get us to a point where we can take the fenders that I've already done and the hood and the front bumper and balance and all that good stuff and get that thing, get it back on here. That way this car is mobile, and I can get it on the street if I want to. You know, it keeps you going, it keeps the car going, and keeps the tires from getting any sort of flattened than they are. So, or you know what I mean, you get flat spots on it. Well guys, I think I've talked more than I figured I was going to talk, and that's okay, you know. But we're going to go hang it up for tonight, and I'm going to go on to bed. And so anyways, I just wanted to give you an update and sort of tell you where we're going from there. And so you can expect to see some cleaning up videos and some more patching, and we'll get into the good stuff. So until next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.